Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen frequently asked questions. Today, talking and focusing about how many ships and vehicles are in game now, how many are left to be completed, what's the breakdown of that, when are we going to get all of them, that sort of jazz. This is sort of like information as of towards the end of June 2019, pre-3.6's alpha live release. There are currently around 153 known ships and vehicles announced in Star Citizen. Not all of these will be flyable by the players necessarily, some of them may be NPC-only ships, and there are even more rumoured and planned as well beyond that number. There are 89 ships and vehicles currently available to use in-game by players. I say around, when we're talking about the max, the 153 mark, because there are a few outliers. About 8 of these ships and vehicles are just skin variants as well, but are listed as separate entries on the ship matrix, typically because they're either limited edition skins or promo ships that are pretty similar, as in the case of the Mustang AMD Omega, for example, which is basically the Mustang Gamma under a different name, a different skin. Of those flyable ships, actually 11 of those are ground vehicles or hover bikes, and hover bikes are sort of like hybrids between ground vehicles and they are also used in space. The total announced number of ground vehicles, including concepts and the Titan suit, is 20. So that works out as 133 ships announced and 20 ground vehicles or hybrids or ground vehicles, whatever. There are 24 more ships currently listed for completion, but not necessarily in game though, over the next 3 quarters on the Persistent Universe and Squadron 42 roadmap. Though 5 of those, again, are Vandal ships that potentially won't be usable by players, like the King ship and things like that, the massive capital ships. Another 40 ships and vehicles are in concept or not on the roadmap, including a couple of the more outlying ships, the Bengal Mega Carrier, the Redemption Super Dreadnought, and the Pegasus Escort Carrier, which, again, might not be usable by players, at least not straight away. So that's 89 ships and vehicles that are currently in-game and 64 that currently aren't. And they range from little tiny snubs to little tiny golf carts, all the way up to large and supermassive capital ships. There are more ships mentioned in lore and rumoured that I've not included in my numbers, the Goldfinch, the 200 series, and various others. There are also plans to continue to do concept sales, but they are going to be moving towards straight to flyable and drivable ships and vehicles that don't appear on the roadmap necessarily and are as of yet unannounced. So there's going to be an expansion and growth of that ship and vehicle list beyond what we've already discussed. Some of the planned and announced ships or ships that appear on the roadmap or whatever may also have some additional variants that we're unaware of at the moment. In 2018, 19 new ships were made flyable and 10 ships were actually reworked and revised and put back into the game. And some of these were quite large reworks, similar to rebuilding the ship. I mean, not entirely, but it's certainly a big lot of work for a ship. We won't see as much in the form of reworks for ships going forward, although they still will happen. The Redeemer, for example, is getting a full reconcepting. Obviously, we're having the Vanguard Warden redone, reworked for 3.6, and obviously all its variants as well. However, ships will often have light updates, and this can be to materials, occasionally modelling work, balance, their lighting states, and more. And obviously, all of the ships are going to be updated once we have physicalized components to have the components physicalized, and we'll constantly see changes to weapon balance and to hull balance and that sort of stuff with the new flight model especially. They are able to actually get quite a lot of new ships and vehicles in-game each year, so we shouldn't have to wait too much longer to have all of the ones they've currently announced, or at least most of them, within the next 2 years. That's my expectation for those 64 ships. I'd expect at least 50 of them or so to be completed maybe in the next 2 years. Some of these will be coming with their associated new gameplay mechanics, but some, like the Reclaimer, are added and then made ready for their mechanic, like salvaging once that mechanic is ready. There are certainly still a lot of holes gameplay-wise that other ships and vehicles could and should fill in the future that haven't been discussed yet. Ships that appear on the roadmap may also be delayed or pushed around to other patches. That's just the nature of Star Citizen's development. And there is a big conscious effort at the moment on Squadron 42 and getting Squadron 42 Episode 1 into a state where it can be released. effectively. So once they've finished doing that, a lot more resources, it seems, will be focusing on the persistent universe with new ships and mechanics that are more specific for that. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear from you. Please drop them in the comments below. You might want to ask questions like, why have you missed out the Grey Cat PTV in your numbers, which I've just realised that I've done, and I'm not sure. But thanks for watching. At least we caught that one at the end. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For June, we have an Origin 890 Jump, the massive luxury ship that is a huge sort of like capital luxury ship. It's been donated by Odyssey Interstellar, a friendly industrial expansionist organisation in Star Citizen that focus on mining, trading, industry, exploration, research and infrastructure. In short, commerce is their goal. They run regular weekly events in-game now. Please check them out if you are looking for an org to join. Links down below. There are a couple of services I shield for as well that you might find useful. If you're looking for a VPN, then check out NordVPN. I use it for security, privacy and more. It has massive advantages over free VPNs. And if you use the code BoredGamer, you get up to 75% off your subscription. Boom! Also, there is Shadow Cloud Gaming. This is an alternative to having your own or upgrading your gaming rig on PC. It leverages the power of the internet and your own Shadow server that emulates a high-spec Windows 10 PC, so you can play up to 144Hz 4K anywhere with an old PC, laptop, smartphone, or even tablet. Freedom to play anywhere. The internet is good enough anyway, and it works really well with Star Citizen and all the games that I play, and is constantly updated and even improved with new hardware. Again, use the code BoredGamer for discount. Links below to all of that jazz. Thank you to all that support the channel through Patreon, the YouTube join button, donations, subscribe star, as well as anyone that just generally subscribes, likes, comments, and shares my content. Dings that bell, ding ding. If you feel so inclined, you can find links to all of that down below. A special thank you, though, to my VIP producers this month, Dalamars, Catastros, Raz, Gear Khan, General Aventador, Robert Johnson, and Andy Green, who have given well beyond the norm in support for the channel. I know a load of other people have, but I can't name them all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the verse.